Okay, so now that we've finished with our warm-up, now we're moving on into the introduction of the lesson. All right, so what we have is, we are looking here at Adriana's work and Joey's work. And question 1 is asking us, why did Adriana multiply by 20 over 20? So here's Adriana's work. She put 9 dogs, and this is going back up to this problem up here. Figure out whether each student's thinking about each line in the following problem is correct, and then explain. Dogs outnumber cats in an area by a ratio of 9 to 8. There are 180 dogs in the area. How many cats are there? So what we basically have is Adriana set up the ratio, 9 dogs, 8 cats, and 180 dogs to X cats. So this is our proportion. I'm comparing 2 ratios. All right, and then what she did was she multiplied by 20 over 20. And the question is, why did she do that? All right, so what basically happened is this. The way that Adriana saw this problem, she looked at this and she said, well, I know that if 9, and we'll write it over here, 9 dogs, 8 cats equals 180 dogs and X cats. So what she did was she said, what do I do to 9 to get 180? Okay? So there's a side calculation that she basically did, if you remember. So what she's looking for is the scale factor. And if you remember, scale factor, we take the larger divided by the smaller. And in this case, we get 20. So 20 is our scale factor. So that means I do 9 times 20 gives me 180. Whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So times 20. And that's how she came up with the fact that X equals 160. All right, so Joey, he did something a little bit different. He said 8 cats, 9 dogs equals X cats, 180 dogs. So first of all, the first thing that you'll notice that he did differently is he flipped what Adriana had did. So he put the cats on the top and the dogs on the bottom. So he set up his proportion a little bit different, but it's okay because he still got the same answer. So the question is, he went from 8/9 to 80 over 90. So what he basically did was this. He focused on 8 cats, 9 dogs. So I'm going to write it like this just so that we can see it. And so what he did was he found an equivalent ratio. So he scaled it up by 10. So he made that 80 cats to 90 dogs. And then once he had that, he saw that, well, hey, I'll just keep going. And I will double this. 160 cats, 180 dogs. So this was times 2. So each of these is an equivalent ratio as he went from one to the other. And he stops here because he found what he was looking for. Okay, and he found out that X is 160, or the number of cats is 160. So 2 different ways to solve a proportion. This also shows you the 2 different ways that you can write the proportion. Doesn't matter if you do dogs over cats or cats over dogs. Joey found equivalent ratios. Adriana found scale factor.